You're out with your best friend, sharing a laugh over coffee. Everything seems perfect, but underneath, there's a storm brewing, a storm of anxiety. Your mind starts racing with questions. Did I say something wrong? Do they actually like hanging out with me? If this scenario hits close to home, you're not alone. Today, we're exploring how to maintain and nurture friendships without letting anxiety take the reins. 1. Understanding anxiety in friendships. Anxiety, by nature, is an overactive response to perceived threats. And when it sneaks into friendships, it can complicate even the simplest interactions. You might find yourself overanalyzing every conversation or avoiding social situations altogether. The first step to managing anxiety in your friendships is to recognize that anxiety is not a reflection of your friendship's value. It's a challenge that can be addressed. Think of anxiety as a filter through which you view your relationships. It distorts reality, making small issues seem larger than life. For example, you might interpret a delayed text response as a sign that your friend is upset with you when in reality, they might just be busy. Understanding this distortion is crucial because it allows you to separate your anxious thoughts from the reality of the situation. 2. The impact of anxiety on friendships. When anxiety takes hold, it often leads to behaviors that constrain friendships. You might cancel plans last minute because the thought of socializing feels overwhelming. Or perhaps you start avoiding certain friends because you're worried about saying the wrong thing. These behaviors, while understandable, can create a cycle of isolation and misunderstanding. Moreover, anxiety can sometimes lead to what's known as friendship fatigue. This happens when you feel emotionally drained by the constant worry and second-guessing that comes with maintaining social relationships. Friendship, which should be a source of joy and support, becomes another item on your list of stressors. However, this fatigue can be managed with the right strategies, which we'll discuss in the following sections. 3. Open communication is key. One of the most powerful tools in maintaining healthy friendships while dealing with anxiety is open communication. It might feel daunting, but letting your friends know about your anxiety can pave the way for a more understanding and supportive relationship. You don't need to reveal every detail, but giving them a glimpse into what you're experiencing can make a big difference. For instance, you could say something like, "Hey, sometimes I get really anxious in social situations, and I might need to take a step back. It's not that I don't enjoy spending time with you. I just need a moment to recharge." This kind of honesty not only helps your friends understand you better, but also reduces the pressure you might feel to act normal when anxiety strikes. Remember, a good friend will want to support you. By being open about your needs, you give them the chance to be there for you in a way that's truly helpful. And who knows, they might even share that they've experienced similar feelings, creating an even stronger bond between you. 4. Setting boundaries without fear. Setting boundaries is another essential strategy for managing anxiety in friendships. Boundaries aren't about keeping people out. They're about protecting your mental health so that you can show up as your best self in your relationships. This could mean being upfront about how often you're able to hang out, or expressing your need for a long time without feeling guilty. For example, if you know that large social gatherings tend to overwhelm you, it's okay to tell your friends, "I'm going to skip the party tonight, but I'd love to catch up with you one-on-one later this week." This way, you're maintaining the connection without pushing yourself beyond your comfort zone. It's important to remember that setting boundaries doesn't make you a bad friend. On the contrary, it shows that you respect yourself enough to prioritize your well-being. A true friend will understand and appreciate your honesty, even if they don't fully relate to your experience. 5. Practicing self-care in social settings. Anxiety can often turn social settings into a minefield, but practicing self-care can help you navigate these situations with more ease. Self-care doesn't have to be elaborate. It can be as simple as taking a few deep breaths before meeting up with friends or planning an exit strategy if you start to feel overwhelmed. Grounding exercises can be particularly helpful in social situations. For example, before you step into a social setting, take a moment to focus on your breathing. Inhale slowly for 4 counts, hold for 4 counts, and exhale for 4 counts. This simple technique can calm your nervous system and help you feel more present. Another effective self-care strategy is to set time limits for how long you'll stay at a social event. Knowing that you only need to be there for a certain amount of time can reduce the pressure and make the experience more enjoyable. It's also okay to take breaks if needed. Excuse yourself to the restroom or step outside for some fresh air if you start to feel overwhelmed. 6. Managing overthinking and reassurance seeking. Overthinking is a common struggle for those dealing with anxiety, especially in friendships. You might find yourself replaying conversations in your head, analyzing every word and gesture, and wondering if you somehow offended your friend. This can lead to a constant need for reassurance, which, while comforting in the short term, can strain your relationships over time. To combat overthinking, try to focus on what you know to be true rather than what you fear might happen. If your friend has always been supportive and kind, trust that they still are, even if they haven't responded to your text right away. Practice reminding yourself of the positive aspects of your friendships and the evidence that your friends value and appreciate you. It's also helpful to limit how often you seek reassurance. Instead of asking your friend multiple times if they're upset with you, try to sit with the discomfort for a bit. Often, the anxiety will pass on its own, and you'll find that the situation wasn't as dire as you imagined. Over time, this practice can help you build confidence in your relationships and reduce the need for constant validation. 7. Building a support system. Anxiety can make you feel like you're alone in your struggles, but it's important to remember that you don't have to go through it by yourself. Building a strong support system is key to managing anxiety in friendships. This support system can include friends who understand your anxiety, a therapist, or even online communities where you can share your experiences with others who get it. When building your support system, look for friends who are empathetic and non-judgmental. These are the people who will be there for you during tough times, offering a listening ear or a comforting presence. Don't be afraid to lean on them when you need to. True friends will want to help, not because they feel obligated, but because they care about you. If you're comfortable, consider joining a support group for people with anxiety. These groups can be a great way to connect with others who are going through similar challenges and to learn new coping strategies. Sometimes, just knowing that you're not alone can make a world of difference. 8. Embracing vulnerability. Vulnerability is often seen as a weakness, but in reality, it's one of the most powerful tools we have in building deep, meaningful friendships. When you allow yourself to be vulnerable, you're showing your true self, flaws, fears, and all. This openness invites others to do the same, leading to more authentic and fulfilling relationships. Sharing your struggles with anxiety might feel scary, but it can also be incredibly liberating. When you stop hiding behind a mask of perfection, you give yourself permission to be human, and in doing so, you create space for real connection. It's important to remember that vulnerability isn't about oversharing or expecting your friends to fix your problems. It's about being honest about where you're at and allowing others to see you as you are. When you embrace vulnerability, you open the door to deeper, more meaningful friendships, ones that can withstand the ups and downs of life. Anxiety doesn't have to control your friendships. By understanding your anxiety, communicating openly, setting boundaries, and practicing self-care, you can nurture your relationships without the added stress. Remember, friendship is about acceptance, both from others and yourself. You deserve friendships that are supportive, understanding, and enriching. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up and share it with someone who might need it. Don't forget to subscribe for more content on managing anxiety and building stronger relationships. And hey, drop a comment below. How do you handle anxiety in your friendships? Let's support each other in this journey.